thanks for that. I'm just starting up the streaming. That's why I need to sort of get organised a minute beforehand to get everything rolling. And here we have, I'm just checking something. Hang on a minute. All right, good evening, everybody. Just checking the latest emails that have come in. This is a Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286. Patricia and David, thankfully inside because it is miserable out there. Pouring rain, but the wind has dropped. We had it pretty gusty before, but it's anywhere between 6 and 20 knots. It's really fluctuating. And the old barometer down to 1009.5. But 19 degrees. Just love this northerly wind. It's got a touch of easterly in it at the moment. So, yeah, it's funny looking at the boat reports with the weather because depending on where you are, it's anything from a lovely sunny day to the misery that we've got here. But we have got Moonfish is safely in Marsden now. Forgot to ask them about the speed of their passage. From my memory, it's about the fastest one they've done. Interestingly, they saw a water spout starting as they went into the Whangarei Harbour.
There you go.
There you go. We've just been talking about all these things and now they're happening. Falado are in Noumea, so they're off the list tonight. Let me tell you about the couple of, or two or three or four boats that have emailed in. We've got Maitaki, Clive and Jody are at 2950 and 17545 east. 15 knots of northerly. They're doing 7.7 on a southerly course. Flat seas and sunny. Wow, it's actually hard to comprehend that way down here. Cables length 2 are on their way and will be arriving at Whangarei late tomorrow. They won't be impressed with the weather at the moment. They're currently doing 7.8 on a course of 166 with 20 knots of northerly. At 3250-17413. They're close to Kazoo. And I've added them to the bad radio list. Boy, we really should get a bulk deal from somebody. Gracias, 4 p.m, 3202 south and 17426 east, enjoying that 20 knots of northerly. 5.1 on a course of 175 true and 1.5 metre northeast swell. In fact, I think we've got a touch of easterly in the north wind that we've got, and all is well on board. Camelot with a better day up there. 23 degrees 36 south, 17541 east, 192 true course and 6.9 motor sailing. David, they're keeping the average up. Haha. I think he's getting a reputation like Hank in the Caribbean there. A grumpy old Hank. It will be grumpy old David. But there you are. They're keeping the speed up. Only at 9 knots of northeast wind, 40% cloud cover, 1 metre plus swell with 10-second periods. So yeah, it's really interesting looking at the different positions. Alka is at 304.48, 174.72. They are rolling along because they've got a 1 metre north and a northeast swell. But a reasonable day, 30% cloud cover it was earlier on, but 90% now as they get to enjoy our weather here. 176 magnetic, 4 knots of boat speed, and the wind is now down to 8 to 10 knots. So they're experiencing the same drop that we've got here. And we will not be talking to Ruffian tonight because sadly last night they lost their mast. So lots of activity on board Ruffian, and their current position, I've just looking at the email that's just come in. They first of all commented about the wonderful cruising community, and it is good to read about it because they have got fuel from both Zipper and I never can pronounce that word, Eleuthera, and also the catamaran Forever and Ever. So they now have, and they also got a crew member from the catamaran. So they have done very well. Thank you to those boats that have helped out, because it's a bit of a real downer with losing the mast. But they will now have enough diesel to motor to New Zealand, but they won't make it in before the Wednesday front. David will be talking about that shortly, and the strong southerly winds. So they're now going to head for a position that they will just wait a bit, and then come back into New Zealand when it improves after the next front. Their current position, for those that might be passing by to say hello on the radio, they've rigged up the VHF, 25 degrees 43 south and 17933 west, motoring along at 5 knots on a course of 265 true. And that now is 3 persons on board: Fiona, Ian and Ant. Right, now let's go to the boats that we talked to. Let's have a look for Dash. Oh no, Dash, I haven't written that down. Sorry, folks, we've got another one here. Where are we? The Dash report. 3239 south, 17523 east. Course is 185 true, speed at 7.5 knots. They are motor sailing, dead downwind. 20% cloud cover. Well, I tell you what, that's about to change. 1+ meter seas from the north, and they are 193 miles to go to Marsden Bream Head. So that's good going. They will be in, well, certainly if they keep that speed up, they'll certainly not be too far away. Okay, let's go to Master Plan, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, this is Master Plan, over.
Yeah, great signals tonight. I was listening to Alula and Mackay talking before, and absolutely fantastic. Go ahead, Dean.
Okay, Gulf Harbour, this is Master Plan. Our position is 29 degrees 33 south, 173 degrees 57 east. Our course has a ground at present 165 true, and our speed 5.7 knots. The wind is out of the north-northeast, about 13-15 knots. Our swell is probably just over 1 meter from the northeast. It's partly cloudy here now, but we've had a pretty sunny blue day, plus 10% cloud cover, and our barometer is now reading 1015. Over.
Yeah, a lot higher than ours, and I'm surprised that the wind is down to that, because we're 1009. Oh yes, you're almost, yeah, interesting. Okay, 2933 south, 17357 east, 165 true course, 5.7. So pretty pleasant conditions. North-northeast, 13 to 15, 1 metre northeast swell, and only about 10% cloud cover, 1015. So yeah, boy, you're timing it pretty well, Dean. Over.
We are watching carefully to see what happens with this front, which we may find some of it this evening. We shall see. Over.
Yeah, David's just looking at the satellite picture now. I guess he'll make some comments shortly. But yes, a lot of you just got good timing, so hopefully it won't. Well, the guts is out of it anyway. All right, have a good night, and hopefully it won't, well, you might get a bit of a wash down, but not too much. Okay, we'll clear with Dean on Master Plan and go to Obsession. Yeah, great signals tonight. It's a real pleasure to talk to everyone.
Yeah, I think we've had a very clear day here. Our current position is 28 degrees, 30 minutes south, 173 degrees, 11 minutes east. We've got a speed of about 5 knots, and we're doing 158 at the course magnetic. Our barometer is definitely 1016, and normally about 5 knots. We've been motoring all day. We've had very little wind, and 20% cloud cover at present. We did have a shower come through at about 3 o'clock, and 100% cloud cover at 3. Over.
Okay, we have Obsession 2830 south, 17311 east. 5 knots motoring all day. 158 magnetic course, 1016 on the bar. I suspect that's dropping. North 5, which is why they're motoring. Gosh, it's amazing. 100% cloud cover, and you had a bit of a shower at 3 p.m. So, well, you know all about the changeable New Zealand weather. Welcome back to it on your way over.
Sorry, Tom, again with the question position, just to let you know, 20% cloud cover now. We did have 100% with the rain, over.
Okay, I've clarified that. It's now 20%, so enjoy that sunshine for us, because it's certainly rain and 100% here. So, yep, I guess you'll be seeing it shortly. So we'll know what's going to happen, because at 30 degrees, Alka was reporting 90% cloud cover. So I guess you're going to have a bit of a cloudy night shortly, over.
Yeah, I think that's what we're expecting. Yeah, we'll see what happens then.
Yep, okay, otherwise it sounds like all is well on board, and yeah, really good signals from everybody tonight. So we'll clear with you and see if we can find Margaret on Iron Maiden, Gulf Harbour.
Harbour, this is Iron Maiden. Good evening, Patricia and David.
Yeah, very good copy from you again, Margaret, go ahead.
We are at 29 degrees, 46 minutes south, 172 degrees, 13 minutes east. We're motor sailing at 6 knots on a course of 160 true. We currently have a northerly of 12 knots with a 0.5 metre swell. 100% cloud cover, barometer is 1009, all's well on board, hoping to get into Stongaray on Tuesday morning, over.
Well, I'll just ask David shortly about that ETA. 2946 south, 17213 east, motor sailing 6 knots, 160 true. Northerly 12, a half a metre swell, 1009 on the bar, 100% cloud cover, and ETA Tuesday morning. Is that going to get them in before? Oh, he's going to discuss that shortly, so that he covers it all at once, but sounds pretty good. Okay, Margaret, well, oh, I shouldn't say that. No, I'm, oh my God, he's grumpy again tonight. I'll have to watch my P's and Q's, but I did hear him mutter something about the front on Wednesday, so that's why I said it. Okay, I take it all is well on board, Margaret.
Yes, all's well on board. Yes, we conscious of that front on Wednesday, so that's why we're motor sailing at the moment, over.
Yep, good idea to get in before it. Why bother with dealing with it? Maintain boat speed, says David. Yes. Oh, well, yeah, I have to live with this man. Boy. Okay, have a good night, Margaret, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Okay, I know I'm going to be able to copy Alula, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, this is Alula. I'll copy.
It's still good. Jimmy, go ahead.
Good one, Trish. So, Alula, our location is 22 degrees 10 south, 176 degrees 11 east. Our speed is 7.5 knots, direction 190 true. Our wind speed 15 knots from the southeast.
Southeast?
Swell 1 metre from the southeast.
Where is he?
Cloud cover is 70%, and the bar is sitting at 1014. Over.
Yeah, I just need you cut out for the last digit of your longitude. 17, what was it?
It was 176 degrees 11 east. Over.
Okay, we have Alula, Jimmy and Gemma at 22 degrees 10 south, 176 degrees 11 east, 7.5 knots at 190 true course, 15 knots of southeast, 1 metre southeast, swell, 70% cloud cover, and 1014 on the bar. So I'm just looking up where you were yesterday, and I think pretty good progress over.
Yeah, we're very, very happy. We're not quite breaking our records, but we are very, very close. So it's been a great start off from DJ, over.
Yep, well, hopefully it will continue. So we'll talk to you again tomorrow, Jimmy. Clear with you, and I've got a few boats here that I have no idea whether I'm going to be copying them or not. Cambria, Gulf Harbour. Well, I know you are there, but I'm sorry, I cannot copy you. Does anybody copy Cambria?
I have a very faint copy, Patricia, that's a second number.
Yeah, Lisa, give it a go, and if all else fails, I'll check with the AIS. But yeah, see if you can pick them up.
Cambria, this is obsession, get copy of it. Yeah, I've got your face, but I can relay a position and things for you if you like, over.
No, I need it.
Cambria, I need you to repeat your longitude, please. Repeat your longitude, over. Now I'm struggling there. I've got 1603 south and 166 degrees, nothing east, over.
Info. Right, this is Alula. I have the long, over.
Okay, I'll leave it to you, Lula, then, or if you can pass it on to Patricia, over.
Patricia, longitude 166 degrees 39 east, over.
Yeah, I've got that, but interesting. Oh no, it's the wrong one. Sorry. Carry on. See if you can get that latitude.
16 degrees 03 south. Is that correct, Cumbria? Over.
That's east, actually.
Affirmative, Patricia.
Yeah, I just need the latitude. I've got the longitude 16639 south, and I just east. I do need the latitude. Over.
Latitude 16 degrees 03 south. Over.
1603. Okay, I've got that. 1603 south, 16639 east, and course and speed. Over. Got that. Okay, I do get that. 7.5 and 234. So that's good. And I'm just, hang on a minute, folks. I just got not enough hands here. Oh, God, I can't get that. Okay, I can't really do everything at once here, trying to find the AIS and keep turning this volume up and down. So I think we'll leave it there. We've got a fix on you, 7.5 knots, boat speed, and 234 course. Thank you very much for the help, folks, and hopefully it might improve tomorrow. And I'll just look when David's talking for the AIS. Okay, thanks, Rob, and I'll just, if I need anything else, I'll call back, but hopefully your AIS is pretty not too long ago. Okay, let's see if I can find Coho Gulf Harbour.
is Como, over.
Oh, nice, good signal from you. Go ahead, over.
Yeah, you're a little bit late, but here we go. So we left today from Tana, currently at 19 degrees, 52 south, 169, 26 east, and of course it's straight to 20 degrees through 5.5 knots. And the wind is 10 knots out of the southeast, and it's smooth over.
Well, it sounds a pretty nice departure from Tanner. 1952 south, 16926 east, 220 true, 5 knots with 10 knots of south-southeast and smooth seas. Well, that's pretty good. I don't suppose you have a rough ETA, over?
Sorry, I missed the question, but 2 people on board, all well on board, and going for Opua, over.
Okay, and ETA Opua at this stage, over?
Oh, still, I don't know, 8 to 10 days, over.
I think that's
Okay, 8 to 10 days, just so that we can have a look at what's happening. All right. A really nice copy from you, so that's good, from out further west. All right, Jack Iron, or anybody that knows where they are, you on frequency? Nothing heard. They were going to call in, but haven't heard anything from them, but I presume they're on their way. But there was no AIS subsequent to the one just leaving Fiji. Okay, Zumax, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, this is Zumax, copy.
Yeah, pretty reasonable, Anna. Good from you. So go ahead, over.
Yes, hello, so we are at 0538 north, 123 degrees, 26 west. We are on a course of 090 at a speed of 8 knots.
Yeah.
And we have 15 to 18 knots of wind from the south-southeast. And it was a good sunny day, and everything is well apart, over.
Well, you're certainly getting your easting in. 05 degrees 33 north, 123 degrees 26 west, 090 true course at 8 knots, and 15 to 18 from the south-southeast. And sunny, all well on board, beating a bit, but making good progress. So good to hear. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow, over.
Yes, just wanted to make sure if you got the longitude right, it's 0833 north, over.
sure wave.
So
No.
the latitude is 08. Hang on, I'm just looking. Yes, I guess that could be possible.
No.
So you tell me that your latitude is 0833. Is that correct?
No, sorry, I made a mistake now. It's 0538 north.
Okay, yep, David said definitely 05. Okay, we have 05 degrees 38 north, 38 north. Got that? Thank you very much. So you're hearing me pretty well, so good for that. Yeah, sometimes the AIS is really funny. You get boats side by side, and one is pretty recent and one is not. So good that we're in touch with you each night. Okay, well, David's got a bit of weather here, so we'll go to weather now. Clear with Zumax, and I will call for anybody else after he's finished the weather update. Although how he makes any sense of what's going on at the moment, God knows. But here he is.
Oh, yeah, well, it's everybody to their strengths, I guess. And don't let her fool you. Patricia is a research chemist. She's very technical, so when she pretends that she
hands.
doesn't know anything about the weather, it's just the opposite. I'm the meteorologist, but she's the chemist, and we try not to mix things up, especially when she's making something in the oven. Anyway, we're going to take a look at the synoptic forecast for tomorrow at about lunchtime, tomorrow being Sunday. And then I'm going to move on to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to take a look at what we think is going to happen, particularly for those boats that are on their way south from the various departure points. And I think, as we talked about the other day, this particular cold front that everybody has been discussing, is one of those frontal bands that runs almost north-south. So it becomes a kind of an issue as to where you are and where it is, and what kind of weather that you could expect from this, and the anxiety that comes in with this as well. One thing that I do want to suggest, a lot of you are able to get satellite imagery. Those of you that have got Starlink, I'm sure that you get windy, and you probably get predict wind as well. But if you get windy in particular, they have a feature on there called satellite, self-explanatory. Now, the advantage of that is if you click on that, in this particular case, it's quite valuable. It will show you the weather front, and it will show you the shape of it, depending upon whether you choose infrared or visible or whatever. It will give you an indication of how powerful the clouds are, and also the movement. It'll go up to about 12 hours of history. So you'll be able to see the movement of the low, middle, and upper level clouds. And so in the absence of anybody telling you what's going to happen, you'll be able to see yourself just exactly what, in this case, what that front is going to do. So something to fool around with if you're interested in that. So, okay, we'll look at this update for tomorrow, and I like to pick a time, and I usually like to do lunchtime, just out of habit. So our depression that has been causing the grief the last couple of days, that should be located just to the west of the South Island. And the central pressure, not that low, it's about 998 millibar. However, by late afternoon tomorrow, two centers are going to become apparent. The first one, as described. The second one is going to be centered just to the east of the South Island. So we've got one on the west side, one on the east side. Now, the synoptic charts isobars are shaped like a triangle. You'll have to follow me on this. Sometimes it's hard to describe something that I see and make it understandable to you. But anyway, making all the isobars, drawing in the isobars, everything looks like a triangle over New Zealand, with the two sides meeting at about, and I'll give you a lat long, they're meeting at about 2.6 south and 1.76 east. So that's where the two sides of the triangle meet, and that is where the isobars make their sharp bend. That's the top of the triangle. Now, the cold front runs from these coordinates that I just gave you down to, you may want to write this down, 48 south, 48 south, and 174 west, 48 and 174. Now, you join those 2 points, that's the axis of the cold front. Then the isobars turn sharply to the west around depression number 1. So we go from 26 south all the way down to 48 south. When we're at 48 south, the isobars make a turn and they go to wrap around depression number 1 that we gave you the lat long on. Now, again, those of you that can receive satellite imagery will be able to see this very, very easily, believe me. And it will give you just a precise indication of what everything is looking like over New Zealand and just north of New Zealand. Now, off to the east of all of this is our departing high, and it is centered roughly 35 south, 35 south, and 160 west, 160 west, and it's about 1030 millibar, 1030 millibar, fairly strong. There will be a squash zone in between the high and the cold front that we just talked about. The winds are expected to be north to northeast, about 20 to 25 knots. Now, on the west side of the frontal band, the winds are going to be westerlies, and I would say the speed 15 to 20 knots. So on the west side of the axis, westerlies 15 to 20. So those of you that are on rumline from Fiji to New Zealand will encounter the northern tip of this cold front that we're talking about at, again, 27 south and 176 east, and that will be Sunday afternoon. Now, the wind direction could be anywhere from southwest to northeast, as those isobars make a very radical bend. Since it is a depression and it is a cold front that we're dealing with, we have cyclonic winds. So those winds are just going to be doing a right turn up at that northern point. Now, just to the north of this tip, further north, the winds are going to be very light. So, in fact, I would say more than likely you'll be motoring for a bit to the north of that lat long that I gave you. Now, those of you that are coming from Tongatapu to this tip, if you will, are going to have easterly winds, and they'll be light to moderate. Not bad at all. Light to moderate winds. Those of you that are coming from Vanuatu or New Caledonia will have southerly quadrant winds, and they'll be light to moderate. So this is a rather complicated looking picture for Sunday afternoon. Those sailing from this tip to North Cape can expect west to southwest winds, and we'll call them moderate. They're not going to be very strong by Sunday afternoon. We just got some readings on this side of Cape Reinga. We had 30 knots of wind coming right out of the north, and in fact Tutukaka, for some reason I picked up Tutukaka, and it's 35 knots there. Those are gusts. So anyway, to round out all of this complication, the new high is centered near 30 south and 159 east, or just to the east of Coffs Harbour. So this is the next high that's moving into the picture. So we've got that high, we have the depression that's pretty much over New Zealand, and then to the east of New Zealand we've got the other high, the high that's leaving us. Now, after tomorrow, things definitely change, and they're going to be even more complicated. So hang on one second, and I'm going to make a little change here, and we'll talk about that. Okay, so I'm looking now at Monday, and that high that we talked about that was off of Coffs Harbour is Oh, well, it's moved east. Let's just put it that way, and it's I would say roughly. I'll just give you a position. It's hard to describe a center. You can find the center, by the way, by looking at your satellite imagery and by looking at the counterclockwise rotation of the lower clouds. That's an easy way to find out the center of the hive. Anyway, it's about almost 29 south and 161, 162 east. That's the center. And it's ridging east. It ridges right over Norfolk Island, and it continues on to almost to the date line. So that means all the winds from 30 south to New Zealand, if you're coming from Fiji, are going to be south southwest to southwest. So that is roughly lunchtime on Monday. Now on Tuesday, things really change. That high will have moved quite quickly. It will have gone right past Norfolk Island, and it, I wouldn't say it goes east, but it sort of goes east-southeast. So by lunchtime on Tuesday, it's going to be about 30 south and 178 east. So that's roughly the center of it. So what that means is the winds from, if you're on Rumline from Fiji to North Cape, or the top of the North Island, from 30 south to North Cape, you're going to have northwest winds. That's pretty good news for all of you boats that are anywhere from basically 28, 29 south, and from there in between to the top of New Zealand. Now on Wednesday, we do have a change. We have another depression that is going to be just to the south of New Zealand, and we are going to have a trough that extends north. The axis of it, again, we have one of those north-south situations, only in this case it's going to be roughly 170 east. So what that means on Wednesday, boats that are between 30 south and New Zealand on Rumline from Fiji to New Zealand are going to have north-northwest winds, north-northwest winds, and they'll be fresh winds. We'll be looking at about a good 20 knots, maybe 25 knots. Now, if you're coming from Vanuatu, Rumline from Vanuatu to North Cape, and you're, say, at, we'll call it 33 south, the winds are going to be westerly. And, yeah, that's good enough. They'll be westerly, and they'll be westerly all the way to North Cape. Now, on Thursday, things continue to shift. The center of the depression is going to be east of East Cape, and it's going to be about, well, it's not very deep. It's only about a 9.8, something like that. And the winds obviously are cyclonic, so the winds are going to be out of the southwest, and so between 30 south and North Cape, we'll have southwest winds, and they'll be a good 25 knots. It's quite fresh. The winds are quite fresh. So that is probably as far as we want to take it. So we're running basically from Saturday through Thursday. After that, I'm not going to really trust what the models have got to say. They'll start to deviate from each other. In fact, they're starting to deviate now, now meaning next Thursday. So taking it even out to there is, I wouldn't say a gamble, but it definitely is not going to be something that you would take to the bank. An idea. That's what I like to say. Models are an idea. So that's the story between tonight into Sunday afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and a little bit of Thursday thrown into the mix. those are your wins. Most of it are not bad from what I could see, just depending upon where you are, where you're coming from. So if you have any questions, you can come down, or you can drop us an email, and we'll go from there. So with that, I'll pass it back to the chief, and off we go.
Okay, well that gives everyone an update and a goal for getting into these pleasant cloudy isles. Certainly hope it's going to improve for our day tomorrow. Okay, is there anybody that I have forgotten to call in, or anyone that wants to join us? Please call now. Nothing heard. Is there any radio checks? I have to get another page out for those people with radio problems. Is there anybody wanting to do a radio check? Now is your chance before you head off. All peaceful and quiet. Okay, folks, we will be back again tomorrow night, hopefully with a better outlook from our window here. Don't need to fill the bird bath tomorrow, that's for sure. It's toppling over. This is the weekend, of course, been a long weekend that everyone is meant to be outside planting their tomatoes. But
Your walk on Monday will be all right.
I guess we'll put that off until next weekend. Okay, have a good night, everybody, and we will be back again tomorrow. And I suspect the frequency will be taken over by Alula and Mackay. Cheers all.